We are Melby Squad. So we met these girls.
We went to this gay function. We went to this gay function, and you know, we pull up with a few of her friends. One of her friends liked me actually. But anyways, we went there. We pulled up, and she saw this one person she's like, ooh, they fine, da da da. I'm like, oh, you think they fine? All right, bet. And
then she went and got her best friend.
I was like, all right, bet. I think her friend's cute. So like, I kind of wingmanned it for her.
And then we ended up going on a date with them.
And then we were like, oh yeah, let's go on a double date. We had planned it, and then we were late to the date, and then they had to go on the date with themselves, and we had to like reschedule.
No, we didn't. They came to the beach after.
Yeah, but that's what initially happened is they did the adventure because we were late. We couldn't do the adventure. So they
ended up going to the beach.
And then we went to the beach. And
we told them to link with us
at the beach afterwards.
Right.
But I caught myself like low-key like putting my arm around her at the beach, and we're kind of like looking at each other like, what are we doing? Like, you're my friend, like back up.
No, but that was like, there was like, you know, when we were on the car ride.
And then she called me babe in the car, and I was like, babe?
And then I call my friends babe. So then she was like, I was like, I call my friends babe. And then she was like, damn, you got me excited. And then I was like, in my head, I was just like, bruh, like, just say what it is. Just say you feel me.
And I was telling her, like there was this one time I was like kind of drunk, but I knew she was feeling this other guy because she goes both ways. So she was feeling this dude. And I'm like, okay, like, y'all would be cute together. And I was like for it. And I was like, you're a good woman, whoopty whoop. And I was like, you are attractive. And then I was kind of like confessing my feelings, but then I was like, I'm happy for you. And yeah.
And that was like weeks before that situation.
But I knew even if I had liked her, I was like, it's too late. Like, she's wrapped up with this man. Like, they're about to be, because I thought they was gonna hit it off.
Side note, by the way, at this point, we'd already started hooking up again.
Oh. I mean, well, cause it was just like.
So she pretty much, I'll tell you guys. So one day we're in the car and she's like, we should try it again. And I was like, I don't think it's a good idea. And then she was like, no, we should just give it a try again. And I was like, no, that was like really bad. The last time
we were in bed.
No, it was in the car. I specifically remember we were going somewhere. And then I was like, no, like it was really bad. I don't want to try it again. And then she was like, I think the reason it was bad was because we didn't really like know each other and like know what
after like months of being friends.
Yeah, and sleeping in the same bed and not doing anything. And then she was like, you know, I really think that if we like actually talk about our preferences, then maybe it'll get better. And I was like, no. And I was like, yeah.
And she wasn't into it, like.
And then when we were intoxicated, she kind of like brought it up again. And at that point, obviously, I was a lot easier to convince. So when she had brought it up again while we were in bed and while we were intoxicated, I was like, all right, okay, let's just do it. And then it was actually really good because I feel like we finally had a conversation about each other's preferences, because I think at first there was like a lot of assumptions as to what the other person may like. And so she went with what she thought based on my personality I would like.
Yeah, because she...
And then... But we're not going to go in detail. We're not going to go into detail.
No, but I could be high level. Like, when I first met her, she's loud, she's expressive, she's this. So I'm like, all right, bet. Like, I kind of know, like, I'm assuming what she likes.
Yeah.
But I was completely wrong. And I felt like, okay, now that I know exactly what she likes.
Because we had a conversation about it. Like, we were actually friends. And so we're like, when we were
and you know how if you do something and you like totally mess it up, you want to make it right, and you want to like leave her at least with something more positive in her head. So like I was like not settled until I like fix what I did, because I just felt like I had never had that experience like that in my life. Like, I've never had that problem. So the fact that I was able to make it right was cool.
Yeah.
And it made me feel better.
Yeah, it was like really good after that. And then we continued to hook up when we were intoxicated, which was often. And then one day on her birthday,
You don't have to say all that.
Oh, I am. On her birthday, I ended up going to this guy's house that I like.
They used to
have a thing.
We used
to have a thing. Okay, I went over to his house.
Why
you
say what it is? We're talking about
whatever. Okay, so
they used to hook up.
Right. But the thing is, that wasn't like what it was for, like, we weren't like buddies, you know?
You guys used to hook up.
Okay, we used to hook up, but that's why I wanted
to camera.
Okay, that's why I wanted to say somebody that I had a thing with, because it wasn't just a sexual thing.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So then we had a thing. So I went over to his house because they were we went to the club for her birthday. It was done at 2 a.m. I was tired. Like, and they were still trying to turn up. Like, they were planning.
We were lit. We were drunk.
They were planning on going over to my friend's house.
Hella tequila.
And getting drunk.
I had some friends who came out all the way from, like, Vallejo or Fairfield.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna happen. So
it was lit.
I was not gonna turn up after that, because I was I was so tired, and like I was just exhausted at that point. And so when we ran into each other at the club that we had all went to, he was like, because I literally told him, I was like, I do not want to go back to this person's house and turn up. And he was like, just come over to my house. Keep in mind, I actually have a lot of self-control when it comes to somebody that I feel like did me dirty. And so I was like, okay, yeah, let's go over to your house, because I'm gonna go to sleep, you know? And so I knew what I was gonna do when I went to his house. I knew that I was gonna go into a quiet home with no turn energy. And so I let them go over to our friend's house and turn up, and I went to his house. And when Bobby found out that I went to his house, keep in mind, we're friends at this point. Yes, we were hooking up, but we were really just friends. And so when she found out that I went over to his house, she was like sick. She was like, what the fuck? Like, she was blowing me up, okay? She was blowing me up that night. And then at that point, I had fell asleep. Keep in mind, I went over to his house, I had knocked out. And she was blowing me up, and then she was blowing him up. And then he woke up and he was like, yo, like, he was like, I have like hella missed calls from your friend or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I looked at my phone and there was hella missed calls on my phone too. So anyways, they came and picked me up, I want to say like 15 minutes later, and I get in the car and she's like interrogating me. She was like, what'd you guys do? Like, did you hook up with him? Blah, blah, blah. And I have nothing to lie for. We're friends. Why the hell would I lie to you? And so I was like, no. I literally went over to his house to sleep because I was tired. And I wasn't trying to get drunk with y'all. And so she was like, she wasn't feeling that. And then she kept asking me. And I have a problem with that. Like, I'm not really a liar. I'm gonna be very straightforward with you, whether I hooked up with this person or not, because I have no reason to lie. And so she was like, when she was just doing too much that night, I was like, no, like, this is not a friendship. Like, you're lying to me. Like, if you're feeling me, just say that, and like, we can see where that goes. But like, if you're not gonna be straightforward, like, this is not gonna work. So then that night, I told her, or the next day, I told her, like, we linked up after we had hooked up that night. And I pretty much said, like, we shouldn't hook up anymore because I just feel like the lines are getting blurred with us. Like, I don't really know what you want from me, essentially. And she was like, yeah, I don't know why I was acting like that. She was like, we are just friends. Like, I was tripping last night, blah, 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 type of thing, right? She, like, kind of brushed it under the rug. And so I was like, okay. And so that day when we had went to the beach on a double date, and then she was still like kind of acting like,
yeah, I was like, we're partners, like, all this energy we could just put in our friendship, like, we don't even need to be
that's what she said
on that. And I really thoroughly meant that. And because I was like, I was gonna plan to like date these other people, and I was just like, okay, and I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do with myself and all these, you know, all this other noise. So I wasn't really trying. I still wanted her as a friend, and I didn't want to mess that up. So I was like, all right, let's just.
But the energy was confusing. Because literally every single time we were intoxicated.
And mind you, at the time, her friend was trying to get with me. Her friend was trying to get with me. We still had those other people we have went on a double date with, which I like that girl, but it's just you were there, and I felt like I liked you. I loved you as a friend already, and I feel like that overrode.
She didn't love me as a friend. She loved me. Okay, whatever she wanted to say. She loved me.
All right, are we gonna get to it? Are we gonna move forward?
You're mad because it's true.
No, anyways, she was just my friend. And then her birthday comes around, and this time we hadn't did anything. We're friends, and she starts talking to this other guy. The guy was mentioning that I thought they were gonna like really hit it off and really be together. They were talking like very tough. She thought like she was really into him and he was supposedly into her. So I was like happy for them or whatever. But it was her birthday.
She was happy for me.
I was.
She was happy for me as my friend because Bobby's a really good person, and no matter what, she's always gonna want me to be happy. But the night where she had seen me and him finally like really hit it off,
you were sitting on his
she
lap.
was not feeling it. Like she was like, I'm ready to go. Like, let's go. Let's go. We gotta go home. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? So Bobby very much gave like hot and cold energy. Hot and cold. Hot and cold. I did fart.
God damn, that's
Fart.
that shit's foul as.
Where are you going?
Ooh.
So dramatic.
Foul.
I don't want to smell that shit,
Yeah,
Bobby.
but baby, I don't want to smell you. Gosh, Lee.
Stop being so dramatic. So anyway.
Oh.
Bro, please be bro. Please. Bobby. We have to continue.
Go ahead.
You can't be like that.
Ooh.
That is pretty much. So essentially, fast forward to my birthday. At this point,
She was still talking to him, and I saw her call him when she was drunk. She called him, and he didn't answer.
it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
And I was like, I ain't saw him try to reach out. I ain't saw him get her anything for her birthday. I ain't seen no effort from his end to her for her birthday. And as her friend, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, you deserve more than that. Like, you deserve better than that. Like,
as her friend, aka the person who was trying to see what's up for her,
No.
she was like,
she was like, trying to see y'all.
she was like, I can do better. I can do you better than this man.
No, I wasn't even thinking like that.
Yeah?
Like, no, I swear, y'all. Like, I swear, because I had other things going on. I was not worried about doing anything with her. Like, she had her thing going on with this man. I was just like, this is my good friend, and he's not showing up for her in a way that she deserves. Yes, we had some history, but I had respected that she was talking to this man, and I was just pissed off about the way she was being treated in that situation. And
so she decided to be my shining armor.
No.
Yeah, because
No.
yes.
No.
You jumped
that night. I was like, all right, bet. So like,
She was flirting with me.
No.
Yes, you were. You were flirting with me heavy that night. Heavy. And to be honest with you, okay, I'm not gonna try to make it seem like
I was drunk. I was flirting with everyone.
No.
I was at the club. I was dancing with this person, that person. I did not
That's who she
care.
was back
Like,
then.
I would get drunk and I would flirt with everyone. Like, that's just what it was.
You're in denial. You're in denial. On my birthday, she was literally.
But I was flirting with
She
her
was
too.
on me.
Like, I was
No,
flirting
no,
with
no.
everyone. So it was
She
like,
came back with me.
of course,
She
I
literally
came back with
no,
her. And then she was like, "Oh, I'm trying to sleep with you tonight," and I'm like, "Okay."
I said that.
Yeah. And I was like, okay.
No, listen,
no.
I know what happened. She was really mad that when I like was sorting out the rooms that I didn't put her in my room, but I didn't think that she cared that she was in my room. I think I put you in the room with somebody else or something because we were sorting out the hotel room
And
situation.
that was fine.
And she was
But
like, oh,
she
no,
no,
let
me
me
talk.
And then she was
No,
like,
I was like, all right, cool. You left me in the room, all right, cool. And there was actually this other person in the room that like I think was feeling me, and I was like, okay, you're gonna leave me with this other person? All right, cool, bet. And then she goes off, leaves me with this other person that's feeling me, and you know I'm lit. And she was gone for like 1 minute. She turned her ass right back around and was just like, comes to the room and to get me. She comes to the room to get me because she don't want me to be with that person.
that's not why. It was
And
because
she wanted to sleep with me.
the reason why
Keep
the reason why we went back to get her was because we did leave her in the room with this person. Bobby was intoxicated, and this person just happens to be a man, and I just don't really trust men like that. So I didn't know what was gonna transpire from that, and I didn't want it to be a situation in which I regretted leaving my friend in that situation with this person.
That's what it was?
Serious. No, and it wasn't even my suggestion. Actually, it was my friend who was literally like, hey, do you really think we should leave her in there with him? And I was like, yeah, nah, that's not a good idea. And she was like, yeah, we should go get her. And so we turn around and we were like, and when I opened the door, she was like, you came back. And I was like, bruh, come on. And she's like, okay, bye. And this nigga was hot. I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, yeah, I already knew like that was not, I didn't want to regret a decision that I made in that situation because she was pretty fucked. Anyways,
in that night, like we didn't do nothing. We just went to sleep. I cuddled her, whatever. But it wasn't like, it was like there's a difference between like a cuddling, like you, or like a friend, like I'm just putting my arm around you. So like it was kind of like one of those, and it wasn't nothing like that. Like, cause our other friend was in there, and like we weren't even on that. I was too lit. Like I was tired. We were tired. We weren't on that. And then remember when we said that we had to reschedule our double date? So that was coming up, and it was just gonna be me and her, and we already paid for it, so we were gonna do it. And that's when we went horseback riding. Right. Went horseback riding, and it was.
And that was really like on some like damn near couple shit, honestly.
Yeah, because it was like, okay, like. Yeah, that's when we were kind of getting. Oh wait, the night before, we gotta talk about the day before. I think that was your actual birthday.
Oh yeah.
And like I was like, all right, bet it's her birthday. Like I want her to feel special. I'm gonna dress up, and then I actually wore a suit. I was like, wear a suit. I knew she was gonna dress up, so I was like, I'm gonna look nice for her. And yeah.
And there was definitely some chemistry that night. I saw her and I was like, damn. And then definitely slept with each other that night. And then we definitely...
Well, we had went out and we were drunk, and then she seduced me in the back seat.
Oh, she's crazy.
And I was like, what? What do you mean?
I did not seduce you.
Yeah.
You're?
Because she, we don't have to get into details. But anyways, yeah, so we end up, you know, like really feeling on each other that night. And then we went.
But the night was different. It wasn't on no like we're just hooking up type of thing. Like you could definitely tell that things were like more intimate. It wasn't on no like friends with benefits type of hookup.
Yeah.
And then when we went on that horseback ride,
Did I tell you how I felt after that?